The night before the college application deadline, our close friends group chat exploded. Holy crap, Willow changed her application. Weren't you and George planning to apply to the Capital Academy of Fine Arts together? Someone tagged Willow. On the other end, Willow's voice came through, lazy like she'd just woken up, mixed with the background noise of a game. Oh, you mean George? It's fine. He has my account and password. She paused, like she was chewing gum. If he sees I changed it, he'll just follow suit. Think about it, after all these years. Do you really think he could live without me? I stared at my phone, fingertips ice cold. The clacking of mechanical keys was jarringly loud in the silent room. I left the group chat without looking at the application system again. She didn't know. She could change course for Makoto, just like that, but in my heart, there was always a sky full of stars, untouched and sacred. That dream I fought for through countless sleepless nights and reams of paper. It was never just for her. Chapter 1. Willow's words in the group chat were like an ice pick driven into my heart. The Capital Academy of Fine Arts, that was the dream we swore to chase one summer night in 8th grade. Staring at the stars after staying up painting at the studio, both our families had sat down together, carefully weighing every option before settling on that school. Now, she just changed it like it was nothing. Didn't even bother to tell me. The group chat was still buzzing. Willow, you're that sure George will check your account? What if he doesn't even notice? Willow let out a snort. A game reward notification chimed in the background. Of course he'll check. I know him too well. He probably checks it 800 times a day. Terrified something might go wrong and we end up at different campuses. There was a tired kind of certainty in her tone. Ugh, you guys don't get it. You ever had a simp glued to you since childhood? It's exhausting. Laughter filled the group chat, muted, knowing. Another friend chimed in. Even if he finds out, are you that sure George will change his application last minute? That's risky. Willow's game sounds paused for half a second. Then her voice returned, annoyed, sharp. Piss off. Has George ever been away from me for more than 3 days since we were toddlers? If he's not following me to Southern City Art College, where the hell else would he go? The first person who brought it up couldn't take it anymore. Willow, isn't this a little messed up? Shouldn't you at least tell George? Willow went silent for a beat, then replied, voice tight with irritation. Forgot. Too much hassle. Don't feel like explaining. And it's not like it was random. Makoto, you guys know what his family situation is like. Going down south alone. He's uneasy. Having someone familiar nearby makes him feel safer. The group went quiet for a few seconds. True, with Makoto's situation, it's smart to have someone watching his back. Not like George, who's always holed up in the studio, covered in charcoal. Put him next to Makoto and, yikes, giving up Capital Academy just for Makoto. Willow's a real one. All that half-joking praise and agreement, layered over her game sounds, came through the screen and froze me in place. My fingers curled tight, nails digging into my palms. I wanted to scream at Willow through the screen, but my body felt welded to the chair, completely paralyzed. I don't know how long I sat there. In the end, I simply turned off the computer. As the screen went dark, it felt like the last flicker of light in my heart had gone out. Chapter 2. The door was locked, and darkness swallowed everything. The bitterness I had been holding back finally surged out. Willow's words echoed in my head, again and again. I still couldn't understand. How could she give up on the Capital Academy of Fine Arts? Something she had dreamed of for so many years, just like that. We had pulled so many all-nighters, painting until dawn, just to earn the score that could take us to our dream. Right before I saw the messages in the group chat, I was still thrilled at the thought of walking into that dream together with her, but I never expected the future I poured my soul into, the one I painted for the two of us. She could erase it all in a heartbeat. For someone else's casual comment, she changed it, just like that, and telling me about it. Even that became too much to ask. Was she really that scared I'd cling to her? If she was so afraid I'd cling to her, then what about that night after our training camp ended, on the rooftop of the art studio? That kiss she placed on my lips, smelling faintly of paint, our hearts pounding like war drums. Did that mean nothing? Was it just a moment of impulse under pressure, while I mistook it for something real? Something in me snapped. Crack. The truth is, she was never the only reason for me. From elementary to high school, I followed Willow to the same schools, the same art studios. Everyone, including Willow herself, just assumed I would always chase her shadow, but no one knew. I had another reason for wanting to go to the Capital Academy of Fine Arts, a deeper reason, a reason that had nothing to do with Willow. Even if she didn't go, I still would. I closed the sketchbook beside me, the one filled with our inspirations and promises, didn't even glance at the application system again, and I had no intention, none at all, of changing my destination for her. She could go chase Makoto to the ends of the earth, but I had my own stars, my own ocean. Our paths had diverged. Why dwell on the past? Once I understood that, the suffocating feeling strangely began to fade. It wasn't the end of the world. Dad always said, once your wings are strong enough, It's time to fly on your own. As for that kiss, let's just say it was like being scratched by a stray cat in an alley. Just after I washed my face with cold water, Willow's video call popped up. My mind resisted, but my fingers, out of habit, tapped accept. George, what's taking you so long? We're just waiting on you. Hurry up, same old barbecue spot. If you're late, all the meat's gonna be gone. Noise buzzed in the background, familiar voices teasing and laughing. A post-exam tradition, taking turns treating everyone to dinner. Tonight was Willow's turn, but I didn't feel like going anymore. I'm not coming. You guys eat. Before I could finish, a voice, deep and magnetic, deliberately lowered, cut in. Willow, is George refusing to come because he doesn't want to see me at your friend's get-together? Willow hadn't even responded yet when others chimed in right away. Come on, Makoto, we're thrilled you're here. George is just, well, you know, can't stand seeing any other good-looking guy around Willow. You'll get used to it. Part of Makoto's face appeared in the corner of Willow's screen, too close. With a considerate tone, he whispered, Willow, maybe I should just leave. I don't want to make things awkward for you. Willow's expression darkened instantly. She grabbed his hand and said, Makoto, stay right there. Then she turned to the camera, her tone cold and hard. George, come or don't. Your choice. We're not waiting. We're starting. The video ended, cut off cleanly and decisively. A rush of rage shot straight to my head. I tapped a few buttons and added Willow to my block list. For the first time in my life, I blocked her, and again. It was because of Makoto. Chapter 3. Ever since Makoto transferred to our art studio in junior year, I lost count of how many exceptions Willow made for him. Maybe girls really do have a soft spot for the type, brooding, strikingly good-looking guys with a quiet aura. While I was buried in sketches, covered in charcoal and paint, Makoto always looked clean, fresh, tastefully dressed. Even his drawing board looked like a fashion accessory. Because of him, Willow and I had argued, even gone through cold wars. There were times I genuinely thought she had feelings for him, and I distanced myself on purpose. But each time, Willow would come find me, full of conviction. Don't overthink it. Makoto's just a friend. His family situation is complicated. I'm just helping him out. People say he's handsome, but behind his back, they probably tear him apart. And I believed her. Makoto's father had a bad reputation, which dragged him down. So I turned a blind eye as Willow and Makoto grew closer. Willow had never lied to me. If she said she didn't like him, I trusted her. But later, in places I couldn't see, there were too many interactions between them I never knew about. Until now, she changed her entire college application for him, which just made all my trust feel like a cruel joke. My head was a mess of thoughts when a WeChat notification popped up. Wow, George, grown a spine, blocking me. Just wait till you get home. It was Willow, using someone else's account. I blocked that account too without hesitation. Glancing at the time, I grabbed my backpack and left. It was the final day. Our homeroom teacher had called everyone back to the studio to confirm applications. Traffic was awful. By the time I arrived, Willow and Makoto were already inside. The seat next to Willow was mine, but Makoto was sitting there, casually fiddling with her paintbrush. When I walked in, he didn't bother to move. Just glanced at me with a subtle, almost imperceptible challenge in his eyes. Willow acted like she didn't see me, turned her head away, her face cold, probably waiting for me to cave in first, like always. But not this time. I didn't want to sit near her anymore anyway. Looking around, I headed straight for the empty seat beside David, as far from them as I could get. Everyone, our homeroom teacher said quickly. Just a few hours left for application submission. Make sure everything is correct. If you still have questions, now's the time. Then she hurried off. David was gleefully spilling some fresh gossip when I felt a light smack on the back of my head. George, outside. Willow's voice came from behind. I turned around and met her gaze, then looked away without saying a word, continuing to chat with David. Willow grabbed my shoulder and forcefully turned me toward her. George, what's your problem this time? Aren't you tired of this? We're adults now. Still playing the silent treatment. Don't you think it's childish? Her brows furrowed, tone heavy with fatigue. Forced to look at her, I gave a half smile. Yeah, it is childish. It's also boring as hell. So save the performance. I'm not buying the reconciliation act. We stared at each other for a few seconds before she lost patience. Fine, whatever. If you want to play the tough guy, go ahead. Just don't go crying under your blanket later. She let go of me, tone laced with her usual sarcastic bite. I turned back to David, face blank. Thought she left, but then both her hands clamped down on my shoulders, turning me around again. This time, her eyes locked onto mine, rarely this serious. Today's the last day. Double check your application. Okay. Don't screw it up. She looked like she had more to say, but just then, Makoto walked over with a tablet in hand. Willow, I think there's a small issue with my submission. Can you take a look? Willow nodded. Before leaving, Out of pure habit, like countless times before, she reached out to ruffle my hair. I turned my head and dodged. Her hand froze midair. Her gaze darkened slightly. But she still added, "Remember to go to the computer lab. Check everything one last time. Don't get sloppy." Chapter 4. I let out a cold laugh in my heart. She probably thought that as long as she reminded me, I'd go double-check my application, realize she changed hers, and then follow her to Southern City Art College. Too stubborn to say it outright, of course. And yeah, if she told me directly she changed her plans for Makoto, she'd also have to waste energy comforting me. The problem. What a hassle. Good thing I wasn't turning back anymore. I glanced at Willow, who was fully focused on helping Makoto with his tablet. Then grabbed David and left the studio. David noticed something was off with me, and insisted on dragging me to a birthday party for one of his buddies. I gave in. After dinner, they pulled me along to a newly opened motorcycle-themed bar. Turned out, Willow's group was there too. There were quite a few mutual friends, and before long, we ended up in the same large private booth. Willow's expression stiffened a little when she saw me, but she didn't say a word, didn't even say hi. I treated her like air. On the way to the restroom, I overheard her talking to one of her girlfriends around a corner. The girl was trying to talk some sense into her. "Willow, maybe just be straight with George. Yeah. He's going all the way to Beijing by himself. It's unfamiliar. New city and all." Willow's voice was full of certainty. "Relax." I made sure he said. "He definitely changed it. He's just pissed right now because I didn't talk to him first. That's all." I froze in place. Footsteps approached. The two of them turned the corner and saw me. Willow gave her friend a look, signaling her to leave, then quickly boxed me in against the dim hallway wall. "George, talk." I rolled my eyes and tried to walk away. Took one step. She pulled me right back, trapping me between her arm and the wall. The faint smell of alcohol, mixed with that familiar scent of paint and turpentine on her clothes, washed over me. Instinctively, I turned my face away. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Then Willow cracked first. She gave a soft, almost amused laugh. "Still mad? I was gonna ask you to come with me earlier, but you blocked me, so I couldn't. The studio was pissed at you too. I forgot to bring it up." All right, don't be mad anymore." Her tone softened, coaxing. "You checked your application, right?" I kept my eyes down, silent, while we stood there in this weird standoff. A voice came from behind me. "Makoto's. Willow. David's calling us for drinks." "Oops. Sorry, are you two talking?" His tone carried the perfect amount of apology. Sometimes I seriously wondered if Makoto had a tracker on Willow. Every time she tried to talk to me alone, he always managed to show up, by chance. I didn't want to get dragged into anything. The moment Willow turned her head, I ducked under her arm and slipped out from under her hold. But just as I passed by Makoto, he grabbed my wrist. Chapter 5. I'm really sorry, George. I didn't mean to interrupt anything. You've been upset all day, and Willow's been feeling terrible too. Makoto's voice carried that innocent, almost pitiful tone. I didn't want to waste time with him. Tried to yank my wrist free, but he just gripped tighter, his nails digging into my skin, sharp and painful. I jerked hard and finally broke free. Makoto staggered, caught himself against the wall, and his eyes turned red on the spot. "Willow, is George still mad at me? Does he blame me for showing up to your group hangout? I'll apologize to him if that helps." "Okay. I really don't want you two fighting because of me." As he spoke, he actually bowed toward me. Willow snapped. She immediately pulled Makoto back. "He's the petty one. What are you apologizing for? George, why'd you push him? You should be the one apologizing." Willow glared at me. "We're all going to the same place anyway. What's wrong with looking out for each other? Since you love looking after people so much," I snapped. "You two take care of each other all you want." With that, I turned and walked away, ignoring the warning in her voice laced with anger. "George, that's enough." It was a while before Willow and Makoto came back. Willow still looked pissed. Makoto, on the other hand, seemed completely fine again, with a subtle, unreadable expression in his eyes. Everyone started playing Truth or Dare. Besides David, it felt like the rest had completely forgotten I was even there. Or maybe they never cared. Makes sense. In their eyes, I was just Willow's simp. Makoto got a dare, do a slow dance with someone of the opposite sex. His gaze swept the room once, and immediately landed on Willow, with a soft, playful whine. "Willow, save me." Willow instinctively glanced at me, a look that felt like a challenge. She tilted her chin slightly. Sure, if this had been before, I would have exploded on the spot. But now, I didn't react at all. Makoto had studied street dance. His proportions were sharp and clean. He looked good when he moved. I silently downed half a bottle of cold beer. Eyes calm, I watched Makoto move to the beat of the electronic music, his body brushing close to Willow's, movements full of teasing tension. At first, Willow still had that casual, dismissive smile, her eyes flicking to me now and then, like she was waiting for me to snap. But as Makoto's moves grew bolder, his gaze more intense, her spine slowly straightened, and her eyes stayed locked on him. Everything else around her disappeared. The air was thick with sparks, unspoken heat. As the song came to an end, Makoto suddenly pretended to lose his balance. Willow instinctively reached out to steady him, and he used the moment to pull her into his arms. He was wearing a slightly loose shirt tonight, and as he fell, the collar shifted, their bodies pressed close together, the position so suggestive it made the whole room erupt. Cheers, whistles, howls. The place practically lifted off the floor. Willow's face flushed deep red. She looked like she wanted to hide in embarrassment. Makoto gave a triumphant smile, his arm sliding naturally around her waist as he pulled her face into the crook of his neck, shielding her from everyone's stares. That kind of intimacy, that bashful sweetness, once belonged to me alone, even though I'd already decided to let go. Watching that unfold in front of me, my chest felt like it was being crushed by an invisible fist. It hurt, so bad I could barely breathe. I couldn't stay any longer. Downed the last of my drink, got up, and left the room without a word. David followed me out, stood with me by the road, cursing until midnight. He tried to blow up back inside more than once, but I stopped him every time. No need. We were strangers now. I had no idea what happened in there afterward. Didn't care. My body and soul were completely drained. When I got home, it was 11:50 p.m. 10 minutes left until the application system closed. I collapsed on the bed, every ounce of strength gone. All those days and nights spent together over the years came flooding back, a tidal wave that drowned every last shred of reason. The pain wrapped around me like vines, heavy, suffocating. Suddenly, my phone rang, an unfamiliar number. I answered. It was Willow, tipsy, her voice sticky soft, unusually gentle. George, don't be mad anymore. Okay, be good, remember to change your application. Shanghai's nice, a big city, when we get there. I'll take you out to paint. Chapter 6. It was probably the alcohol talking. Her attitude was softer than usual, totally unlike her. When we used to fight, even if she was the one to back down first, she always carried a hint of threat. George, keep this up and I'm not going with you to that art exhibition next time. And like a total pushover, I'd give in right away. When you truly like someone, how could you ever let things really fall apart? But this time, the gentler she was, the colder I felt inside. Say something, George. Haven't you always wanted to go somewhere warm? The new campus of South City Academy of Arts. It's spring all year round. You'd love it. Beijing, it's too far, and the winters are freezing. You wouldn't stand it during winter break. I'll go with you to the Forbidden City to see the snow. She rambled on, like she was trying to convince me, or maybe herself, as if choosing South City Academy was for my sake. I listened in silence. In the end, I couldn't hold it in and asked, my voice hoarse, Willow, isn't there something you need to tell me? Even I was caught off guard by the crack in my voice. I thought, if she could just be honest now, maybe we could still hold onto a shred of dignity. She paused for barely 2 seconds before brushing it off. Didn't you already figure it out? Why even ask? You've been sulking all day over this. Who's the petty one now? Come on now. They're both great schools, and the major's something you love. As long as we're together, does it really matter where we are? She went on and on about everything, except the one thing that mattered most, the name, and the reason. The last spark in me went out. I didn't want to listen anymore. Before she could finish, I hung up, then turned off my phone. I looked up at the clock. The second hand had just passed midnight. It was over. Fine. We go our separate ways. Get what we each want. Lights off. I lay down, forcing myself to sleep, but the moment I closed my eyes, all I could see was Willow. Willow smiling. Willow angry. Willow focused on her painting. Willow kissing me on the rooftop. From innocent kids to awkward teens, my memories were full of her. I never imagined we'd end like this. Nights always bring out the weakness. The strength I had during the day crumbled into nothing. Tears soaked the pillow without a sound. I don't know when I fell asleep. When I opened my eyes again, it was already noon the next day. I turned on my phone. A dozen missed calls and texts from unfamiliar numbers. All from Willow. I ignored them. WeChat exploded too. David had pulled me into a small group chat. The messages were flying non-stop. Chapter 7. I tapped in. Someone in the group chat had shared a screenshot of a WeChat post at 3 a.m. The chat instantly blew up. Damn, Makoto just made it official. How many couples is that now since the college entrance exam? Classic Makoto. That background, definitely a luxury hotel suite. And that pose. Makoto's a beast. Graduation really unleashed him. It was a screenshot from Makoto's WeChat moments. I clicked on it. The photo showed a girl lying on a pristine white hotel bed. Face turned to the side. It was Willow. Even if just half her face and some tousled hair were showing, I knew it was her. My chest tightened again, painfully. Makoto's caption was even more suggestive and blunt. 99 steps forward for your 1 step back, worth it. Now it's perfect. Likes and comments flooded the post. Makoto's replies only fueled the imagination. All of Willow's close girlfriends were there, dropping hearts and teasing comments. My heart sank to rock bottom. So, they had already gone that far. So last night, while she was softening me up with sweet words, she was in bed with someone else. How considerate of her. The pain hit even harder. But strangely, there was a sliver of relief. Thank God I didn't change my college application for her. If I had, I'd be the biggest joke of all. I shut off the screen, forcing my mind to go blank. The doorbell rang. I opened the door. Willow was standing there, dark circles under her eyes, a paper bag from my favorite traditional pastry shop in her hand. I stood in the doorway, blocking her from coming in, but she slipped past me sideways like she always did, heading straight for the living room. She set the pastries down and instinctively reached to ruffle my hair. I turned my head to avoid it. George, what's with the attitude? No replies. No calls. What? You want me to actually go on the trip without you, and then you come crying after me? She said it in her usual teasing tone, opening the pastry box and pushing the delicacies toward me. Come on, don't be mad. I waited in line for half an hour to get these. Eat up, I know you've been craving them. Then we'll decide where to go for summer break. Tibet, or the beach. I didn't move. She picked one up and tried to feed me. I stepped back. She sighed. All right, Your Highness, I'll leave it here. Didn't you always say you wanted to see the murals in the Gobi? Summer's long enough. We've got time. I called David and the others. We'll rent 2 vans, lots of people. Should be fun. I shook my head. Not going. Please leave. I've got plans later. Willow froze, frowning. Why not? You've been talking about it for years. You're really skipping it just to prove a point. She put down the pastry and reached for my arm. As I tried to dodge, she snatched my phone with her other hand. Stop it already, will you? I've got a hangover from last night and still dragged myself over here to make peace. I'm exhausted. I snapped. No one asked you to come. I don't need your peace offering. Willow frowned deeper. Then tell me, why won't you go? I looked at her, feeling absurd, and said, if you really wanted to plan it with me, you wouldn't have picked the people and route first. Then come here acting like it's my choice. Besides, me not going is probably what you want anyway. Makoto will be there, right? Why drag me along just to be a third wheel? Willow took a deep breath. That was her patience snapping. Yes, Makoto's going. He's been dying to see Duanwang too, but it's not just him. Xiaoting's boyfriend is going too. Can you stop obsessing over Makoto already? What did he ever do to you? His family hasn't taken a proper vacation in years. He saved up for this trip himself. So what if he tags along? Duanwang's huge. You think it can't handle one more person? She was clearly irritated, words tumbling out with no filter. I laughed bitterly and nodded. Fine, go with whoever you want. I'm not going. Willow's temper flared. George, I'm giving you a way out here. Keep this up and it's just pathetic. I already booked your ticket. Tomorrow morning. Airport. Come or don't. I don't care. She slammed my phone down on the coffee table and stormed out. Not a hint of hesitation. I followed her to the door, closed it the second she stepped out. Willow was fuming. Just before the door shut completely, she snapped, with that temper of yours, good luck surviving in the South with your roommates. Chapter 8. The door shut, cutting everything off. Back in the living room, I picked up that delicate box of pastries, box and all, and tossed it straight into the trash. Who needed it? Who wanted to be stuck between her and Makoto like a background prop? Even that belated peace offering of hers, laced with a sense of condescension, felt laughably insulting. I sat down on the couch. The more I thought about it, the more suffocated I felt. To shake off the shadow she'd left over me, I decided to get away for a while. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. Then maybe it takes 21 days to break one. 2. Mom didn't feel comfortable with me going too far alone, so she only agreed to let me stay at Uncle's place in Sea City for a bit. Anyway, I'd already submitted my college application. Nothing tying me down anymore. I packed lightly and booked a flight to Sea City that evening. By 9 p.m., I was already sitting on my uncle's rooftop. Sea breeze in my face, chewing on freshly grilled squid. The salty wind mixed with the smoky aroma of the squid, it actually lifted my mood a little. On a whim, I posted a WeChat moment. Sea breeze plus grilled squid equals perfection. David and the guys immediately howled in the comments, begging for a bite. The next morning, I was woken up by my loudmouth cousin. Sunlight blasted through the window. Bro, phone. It's for you. They called my phone. That girl. Willow. He handed the phone over. I groggily took it. Of course, it was Willow. George, everyone's here. We're just waiting on you. Boarding in 30 minutes. Where are you? You blocked me again. Your mom said you're with your cousin in Sea City. Since when is your cousin here? She sounded rushed and frazzled. I fully woke up and replied flatly. No, not messing with you. I'm in Sea City, at my uncle's place. Willow snapped, irritated. Cut it out. If you leave now, you can still make it. I already told you. I'm not going with you. There was a pause on the other end. Then a lowered female voice beside her said, Willow. I think he really is in C-City. Check his WeChat post from last night. Oh, right. She couldn't see my WeChat anymore. Now do you believe me? I asked. It sounded like she was fuming on the other end. After a long silence, she forced out, George, don't regret this. Chapter 9. Of course I regretted it. I regretted not coming to C-City sooner. The exhaustion built up over the past year of senior high was completely washed away by the blue skies, ocean breeze, fresh seafood, and cold beer over the past few days. When my uncle found out what happened between me and Willow, he was furious. Every day, he talked about taking me to car mod shops and dragging me out to meet new people. C-City during off-season travel was almost unreal in how relaxing it was. Crab fishing at low tide, casting lines off the pier, hiking Laoshan, sketching in the old town, chasing sunsets in Botagwan. Every day ended with me crashing into bed, too tired to think about any of the mess I'd left behind. Willow and the others seemed to be having a good time too. Photos from their trip popped up now and then in our small friend group chat. I'd been deliberately ignoring them. One day, while waiting for my uncle's car to finish getting serviced, I finally had a moment of peace and absent-mindedly tapped one open. They had gone to quite a few places, the Gobi Desert, ancient cave murals. The photos radiated youthful energy. In group shots, I saw tons of two-person photos of Willow and Makoto, always centered in Makoto's 9-photo WeChat grids, impossible to miss. In the vast desert landscape, in front of the majestic murals of the Mogeo Caves, the only figures left behind were Willow and Makoto. Each of those places had once been dreams I'd planned to share with her. Now, seeing them without me, my heart pricked with a subtle but sharp pain. The sceneries we promised to see together ended up with someone else in the picture. Turns out, no one's really irreplaceable. My cousin leaned over, noticed what I was looking at, and scoffed. Dude, it's just a couple of show-off pics who can't look good in photos. The guys I know from the car scene, they know how to take real cool shots. I told you, bro. You used to be way too low-key, always buried in art. Just level up a little. Once you get to college, you'll blow all those art kids away. I guarantee even your ex, will see you in a whole new light. From that day on, my cousin dragged me into full-on makeover mode. I ditched the baggy t-shirts and gym shorts, swapped in the workwear-style shirts and casual button-downs he picked out. He snatched off my ever-present black-rimmed glasses and made me get a new haircut. He even took me to his friend's car mod garage, posing me next to flashy bikes and vintage rides for photo shoots. By the time he was done, the guy in those photos didn't even look like me. I had gone from the quiet guy in the studio to someone with a bit of edge, someone who looked like he had stories to tell. Even my mom, on a video call, couldn't hide her shock. The friend group chat, total chaos. Classmates flooded in with likes and comments, saying I'd changed so much they barely recognized me. Some even reposted the photos to the class group chat. Seeing all those Dom and George looks made me a bit embarrassed. I replied modestly in the group, all credit goes to my cousin. He knows his angles. Right then, a comment popped up from one of Makoto's friends. Nice Photoshop skills. George, mind teaching me sometime? The group went quiet for a second. David wasn't having it. He immediately dropped the original photo I'd sent him. A live pic of me bending over to examine a motorcycle engine. Sweat beading on my temple. The sharp lines of my profile catching the light. The chat exploded. Holy, the original hits even harder. George's vibe is unreal. Dude's been hiding under that school uniform all along, straight up artistic tough guy aesthetic. We all knew George could draw, but no one expected this face game too. The one throwing shade earlier, vanished. Another of Makoto's friends grumbled sourly. Even live photos can be retouched these days, but I didn't even need to say anything. Plenty of people in the group clapped back for me. Willow and Makoto never said a word in the chat. But from that day forward, Willow's WeChat moment stopped updating. Not long after, I received my official admission letter from the Capital Academy of Fine Arts, Department of Design. My fingers trembled as I held the envelope. Years of dedication finally paid off. Then Mom called. Her voice was choked with tears. Grandpa had suffered a sudden heart attack. He was in the ICU. I needed to get back to Beijing immediately. Chapter 10. The next day, I landed in the capital in a hurry. As fate would have it, right when I was picking up my luggage, I ran headfirst into Willow and her group, apparently returning from their trip earlier than planned. They were supposed to be gone for a whole month. I had no idea why they cut it short. The moment our eyes met, the shock on Willow's face was unmistakable. Even Makoto looked caught off guard. After a few seconds of awkward silence, I started pulling my suitcase to leave. Willow snapped out of it and quickly walked over. George, you're back today too. The surprise, and something like amazement, in her eyes was hard to hide. She blurted out, I almost didn't recognize you just now. You look really good. Thanks, I replied coolly, keeping my tone distant. It was the first time we'd gone more than a week without seeing each other, but right now, I could finally feel it deep down. Without her, the world didn't fall apart. I had no interest in small talk. I sped up, dragging my suitcase toward the arrival exit. My mom was already waiting for me. I walked straight to her, just as she took the suitcase from my hand. I heard Willow calling out behind me. She had actually followed me. "George, why are you walking so fast?" She greeted my mom politely. "Hi, Auntie." Then she turned back to me with a tone that tried to sound familiar and casual. "You got your acceptance letter, right? My parents insisted I come back to throw a celebration banquet." "Oh, and didn't we say before that our families would host one together?" My parents already booked the venue. My mom didn't answer right away. She glanced at my stiff expression, then replied tactfully. "Willow, our George won't be having a graduation banquet. My company's been hectic, and his grandfather just got hospitalized. We really can't manage anything else right now. Once things settle down at home, we'll just have a quiet dinner as a family to celebrate. Please thank your parents for their kind offer." My mom's explanation was more than reasonable. She only knew that Willow and I had had a falling out, and that Willow had even changed her college plans. Though I hadn't told her the full story, she was clearly unimpressed by Willow's reckless attitude toward her own future. Willow touched her nose awkwardly, then asked about my grandfather's condition. Mom gave a vague response and gently turned down Willow's offer to give us a ride home. Then she hurried off with me. I stayed by my grandfather's side at the hospital for a few days. The doctor said his condition had stabilized, but he'd need a long period of rest. Since my mom couldn't take time off work, and my aunt wasn't in good health, I volunteered to stay in Beijing and take care of Grandpa until school started. It was summer break anyway. This was my chance to do something for the family. That very day, I moved into the hospital's companion room. Naturally, I missed Willow's graduation banquet. Chapter 11. Even if I had been in town, I still wouldn't have gone. The night of Willow's graduation banquet didn't seem to go smoothly. She kept calling me from different numbers, again and again. At first, she just asked, "Where are you?" But soon she realized I wasn't running late. I wasn't coming at all. That's when she lost it. Even her mom noticed something was off and called to feel me out. "George, what's going on between you and Willow? You came back from the seaside and didn't even stop by our place. Have you grown distant from Auntie too? When you're back, I'll give her a good talking to for you. Don't stay mad, okay? After all, you'll both be heading off to college in Shanghai soon. Auntie's already gotten you new art supplies and I'm not upset." "Thank you, Auntie. My mom already prepared all the supplies I need. We've got some family stuff going on right now." "I'm in Beijing," I was still explaining, when suddenly, the phone was yanked out of her hand. Willow's voice came on, simmering with suppressed rage. "George, you've gone too far. On one of the most important days of my life, you just don't show up. And you make up this kind of excuse. We've known each other for how long? 18 years, not 18 days. Have you fucking forgotten?" At that moment, I had just finished helping my grandfather clean up. I was drained, physically and mentally. "Willow, congratulations. You got what you wanted. There's stuff going on at home. I really can't." Before I could finish, she exploded. "Everyone has their limits. How long are you planning to keep sulking? I've given you so many chances to walk back from this. Do you know how exhausting this is for me? I couldn't even enjoy the trip. So what now? You're gonna stay mad all the way until registration day? Who's gonna help you carry all that luggage and your stupid art supplies then?" I replied coldly, "I won't need you." But in my mind, I remembered that in the Capital Academy's freshman group chat, several enthusiastic upperclassmen had already offered to help out on move-in day. Even without Willow, I'd be just fine. I hung up as she stood there, stunned into silence. Moments later, a text from an unfamiliar number popped up. "George, I dare you, don't come running to me once school starts. When someone else starts chasing me and I say yes, you'll be the one crying alone." Chapter 12. I was speechless, pulled out my phone, deleted Willow from my contacts, and blocked her. After that, I focused entirely on taking care of Grandpa. The school's honors board was posted. I didn't go back to see it. David told me Willow didn't show up either. The next day, her dad reportedly dragged her to one of his company's regional branches to experience real life. After the banquet, for some reason, she even quit the class group chat. I figured, this time, the line was truly drawn, and maybe that was for the best. Grandpa's recovery went well. As the semester approached, he was able to walk again and was brought back to Lakeside City to recuperate. I only stayed home for one night. Mom had already packed my luggage in advance. The next day, she personally drove me to Beijing to register for school. I never saw Willow once. College life turned out to be easier than expected. The moment I got out of the car with my luggage and art supplies, enthusiastic upperclassmen showed up and helped me carry everything to the dorm. The guys in my dorm, all from the north, were loud, direct, and surprisingly easy to get along with. There weren't many people in our major, so we bonded quickly. During the first week, they took me all around Kaffa, the 798 art district, and fed me everything at street. All the worries I had about not fitting in disappeared almost instantly, before military training had even ended and I'd fully settled in. I received a love letter from Anna, a girl in the neighboring sculpture department, and just like that, Willow called again. George, I went to your place yesterday, wanted to head to campus together. Auntie said you'd already gone to Beijing, but I got to South City Academy of Arts today and couldn't find your name in any of the class rosters. What's going on? Which campus are you at? I couldn't help but feel a laugh building. So all this time, she hadn't realized I never followed her to South City Academy. It's not a campus issue, I said flatly. I never went to your school. No way, you're kidding, right? Willow gave a nervous laugh, trying to play it off. Okay, I give up. I'm sorry. All right. Now hurry up and get to the girls' dorm, boys' dorm. My mom brought tons of stuff for you, all your favorite snacks. If you don't come now, I swear I'm eating them all myself. I finally couldn't take it anymore. Willow, are you seriously confused? Or just pretending? I snapped. My application never changed. It's always been the Capital Academy of Fine Arts, Design Department. You know that. It's the school I've dreamed of for years. Why would I follow you to South City Academy? Just then, his loud roommate from the northeast yelled from outside the door. Bro, let's go. The cafeteria's serving crispy sweet and sour pork today. If we're late, we won't even get the scraps. That thick, unmistakable northeastern accent from my dorm mate on the other end of the call sent Willow into full panic. When she spoke again, her words were jumbled and frantic. Why you? Stop messing with me. No, that's impossible. You knew I changed my application, right? How could you not follow? How could you just go to Beijing all by yourself, so far away? I sighed and replied calmly. I'm not joking. Willow, when you changed your application, did you even ask me? Why were you so sure I'd just follow you? And more importantly, you didn't change it for me, you did it for someone else. If I had followed you, what would that have made me? Willow panicked. But I did ask you that night. You said you knew. How could you not have changed it? That makes no sense. Is this because of Makoto? I only gave in for a moment. He was crying, saying he was scared to go south alone, afraid he'd be bullied. You know his family's originally from Shanghai, but after what happened to his dad, he and his mom had to lay low. They couldn't go back. And he only got in with a special talent admission. He didn't have many options. Not like you had solid grades. You had choices. South City was the best he could get. She rambled on, breathless, voice tangled in excuses, but all I could hear was him, Makoto, again and again. Even now, she was still speaking from his perspective, never once considering mine. Yes, Makoto's father had been involved in financial crimes. His parents divorced, and the scandal still haunted him, but his pain wasn't my burden. Why should I be the one to pay for his fear? Willow, I said coldly. If he matters to you that much, then good, you got what you wanted. You and I, we're just friends. There's no reason for us to stay tied together. From now on, don't contact me again. I hung up, took a deep breath, before that little wave of delayed sadness could even set in. My dorm mate grabbed my shoulder and dragged me toward the cafeteria. I thought that would be the end of it. After all, we were now worlds apart, north and south. Separated by more than just distance, but by a rift that could never be bridged. But the next evening, Willow showed up, standing right outside our dorm building. Chapter 13. At that moment, Anna from the sculpture department was standing in front of me, tall, elegant, with a cool, aloof aura. She was known as the ice queen of her class. I was just about to ask if she needed something about our major. George, she said, voice clear but slightly nervous. I'm Anna, the one who wrote you the love letter. I think you have a story in your eyes, and your art, it feels alive. I want to seriously give us a try. Would you give me a chance to be your girlfriend? As soon as she finished, she shoved a rolled-up sketch tube into my arms and turned to leave. Ears flushed red. I stood there, holding the tube, a little dazed. George, I turned around. Willow was standing in the dusk. She looked worn out, dark circles under her eyes, hair messy from travel, but she was wearing a long, snow-white dress that made her tall figure stand out. Still the dazzling girl from the studio I used to know, with a suitcase by her side. She looked like she had come straight from some formal event, even though my heart had long gone cold. I couldn't help but feel a fleeting jolt of emotion. Can we talk? Her voice was husky with fatigue, and her eyes held a fragile, pleading light. I replied calmly. Sorry, I've got a department lecture tonight. She'd come all this way. She wouldn't leave without saying what she came to say. What I didn't expect, though, was for her to open with, how long have you even known her? That kind of shallow girl who only cares about looks. You should stay away. I gave a half smile and said, you flew over 1,000 kilometers just to tell me that. What's it got to do with you? Am I not allowed to meet new people? Should I just stay single forever, for you? Willow was stunned. Her face paled. Her tone softened. George. I don't know why you didn't change your application. I'm sorry, I was arrogant. I thought you'd follow me, no matter where I went. I cut her off. Stop. Don't push your expectations on me. I didn't change. You were the one who let go first. But in the past, no matter where I went, you'd always come along. You had my password. Why didn't you change it this time? She grew emotional and tried to grab my arm. I stepped back, avoiding her hand. Why didn't you just tell me, I asked, that there was someone else you'd rather be with, somewhere else you'd rather go? Did you think I'd stop you? You had to play games. Make it a test. Gamble with other people's futures. Was that fun for you? Willow's eyes wavered. No, it's not like that. I was just too confident in us, don't you remember? That night on the rooftop, when I kissed you, you didn't pull away. I was going to make us official after college started. I even thought about what would come after graduation. But you never once asked what I wanted. I cut her off, my voice strained. You don't know me at all. You thought I applied to the Capital Academy of Fine Arts just because you liked it. And I was following your lead. It was never just about you. Did you forget what my dad did? Before he passed, the last project he worked on was the National Center for the Performing Arts. His desk was always stacked with brochures from CAFA. I've asked you so many times, what's so fascinating about architectural blueprints? But you never stopped to think that maybe I wanted to finish the path he couldn't. Willow was completely stunned. Her lips moved, but she couldn't form words. You never told me any of that. I gave a small, hollow smile. She had probably never realized that all those casual questions of mine were filled with longing for a dream left behind by my father. All those late nights, the sketches I threw away, they were never about chasing her. In the end, I laid it all out for her, gave our confused, burning youth a proper ending. I still remember, after my dad passed, you stayed with me in the studio until sunrise. Your parents were kind to me too. They gave me warmth. But Willow, the moment you gave up on our shared dream, the moment you chose Makoto without hesitation, we were over. Chapter 14. That day, after saying what I had to say, I turned and went upstairs. Not long after, a torrential downpour began outside. My roommate came back and told me that the beautiful girl downstairs was still standing in the rain. It was kind of creepy. I didn't go look, nor did I try to persuade her again. Willow stood outside our dorm building the entire night and only left at dawn. I thought she would have gone back to Shanghai, but a few days later, I got a call from her mother. Her voice choked with tears. George, could you please just talk to Willow properly? Ever since she came back from Beijing, she's been sick. She has a persistent high fever, refuses to go to the hospital or take any medicine. The fever finally broke, and now she says she wants to drop out and retake the college entrance exam just to come find you in Beijing. My head felt like it was splitting open, but I didn't hesitate for a second. Auntie, that's impossible. I've already started a new life and I'm not going to stop for her. Please tell her to stop doing these childish things. Otherwise, I'll only look down on her even more. On the other end of the line, I heard the sound of something shattering as it hit the ground. Later, I heard Willow went back to South City Art Academy. Her grandparents personally persuaded her to return, but apparently, she was planning to apply for a graduate program in Beijing. Every holiday, she would fly from Shanghai to Beijing. Sometimes she'd wait downstairs by my dorm. Sometimes she'd linger near our department building, watching from afar. She'd leave art supplies or snacks I used to like, but I never accepted any of it. During the winter break of sophomore year, I got together with Anna. She was the sculpture major who always stuffed drawing tubes into my hands, cold on the outside, but a bit dorky underneath. She didn't know what really touched me were those clumsy but heartfelt sketches of me she stuffed into her drawing tubes. And on that winter day, when I saw Anna holding my hand under the red walls of the Forbidden City in sub-zero Beijing, her breath like fog as she warmed my fingers, I knew Willow was gone from my life for good. Later on, our family moved away from our old city. I rarely heard any news about her after that. After going straight into a PhD program, I joined a top design studio. Anna also gained recognition for her outstanding sculpture work. Sometimes, when I look back on the passion and betrayal of our youth, it truly feels like dust from another lifetime. The future is long. My journey lies among the stars and seas, within the infinite worlds I can build with my own pen. Dawn is coming. Even the longest night will one day break into light.